I am Batman. Average Sniper.
What's up, guys? Average Sniper here, and welcome to another PUBG video. Today, I have some tips for you guys on how to get that final kill and be the last man standing in the final circle. But before we get there, I'm going to go over some things you may or may not know that will help you get to the final circle and definitely help with your survival. Then we'll get into the more specific final circle tactics after we discuss the prerequisites. Okay, so one of the most important things to have when playing PUBG, and pretty much any game where sound is a major factor, is a good headset. It is incredibly important to hear enemies. If you're playing your sound out of a TV, you might miss out on some critical sounds that alert you that an enemy is close or that something else is happening nearby that you're going to need to know about. A good gaming monitor. Now, I know these sound kind of obvious, but trust me, a lot of people don't know that playing on a regular television is not actually a really good thing when you're playing first-person shooters. You might be excited about the 60-inch 4K TV you just got, but that thing has massive input lag, which means people with gaming monitors are going to be seeing things milliseconds before you see them. And in a gunfight, milliseconds can be the difference between life and death. You don't want to spend 30 minutes getting to second place only to be killed by a guy because he has a better gaming monitor than you. So I always recommend a good monitor that's designed for gaming if you're playing PUBG. I understand that a lot of people like to sit back and relax and play video games, and that's totally fine. But if you're in it to win it, go for that gaming monitor. A good controller. You guys would not believe how many people hold on to their controllers that are years and years old. They have sticky sticks. You know, the buttons don't always work right. You don't want any of that. You want a nice, new, crisp, responsive controller. That pretty much goes without saying. You want to be in the most calm mood as possible. If you're mad playing the game, that's going to show. You're going to leave your cover all the time. You're going to seek out gunfights even if you don't have the advantage because you're playing pissed off. It's not going to work. Play calm. Don't play for kills. I mean, you'll get a lot of kills even if you don't play for them. Just take out enemies that are a threat or enemies that are easy kills and go from there. Don't engage people that have an advantage on you because you most likely are not going to win that gunfight. All this is going to help you get to that top 10 situation. All right, so we've talked about the external things we need: a good headset, a good gaming monitor, good controller, and a calm mood. Let's talk about some of the in-game things you'll need on your journey to the top 10. All right, so first thing, obviously, you're going to need a gun, and you're going to not need to flip your Jeep upside down and almost kill yourself while you're looking to see if there's an enemy beside you. That's probably an important thing right there. All right, so obviously you'll need a weapon, lots of medical supplies. It's good to have a secondary weapon and a pistol too, just in case you potato somebody and need to pull out the pistol and get those final kills off. So make sure you have guns that you're comfortable with and backup guns on top of those. Lots of medical supplies, guys. You're going to need first aid kits, med kits if possible. Med kits will bring you to 100% health. You're going to need lots of boosts. The boosts are incredibly important, guys. We'll get into that. We'll get into that more in detail in the top 10 situation here. When we get there. Good armor and helmet. Get the best armor and helmet you can. If you can raid a care package and get level 3 gear, that'd be perfect. Grenades and smoke grenades, extremely important. As much ammo as you can carry and every attachment that will fit on your gun. I've played with a lot of people who don't really care about the attachments that are on their gun or not, but it does make a huge difference. For example, an M4 fully automatic assault rifle is going to behave totally different than the same M4 with every attachment. Once again, I know this goes without saying, but there are so many people out there who skip attachments. Get all the attachments for your gun. It will make your gun fights much easier, and it will give you, a big advantage. All right, so recap real quick before we start talking about the actual top 10 situation. Good headset, good monitor, good controller, calm mood, lots of medical supplies, good armor and helmet, grenades, smoke grenades, lots of ammo, weapon attachments. Now we find ourselves in the top 10. We've racked up some kills. We've got good gear. What do we do from here? All right, here is my list of things that I live by when I'm playing in the final circle. This goes for PC, PS4, and Xbox. Applies to everything. All right, so the first thing is play by the edge unless there's perfect cover in the center. And what I mean by perfect cover is a building that's in the center of the circle that you can control, shoot out from the windows or from a roof where people cannot easily flank you. That'd be the best way to win. But a lot of times you won't get lucky enough to have that perfect cover, so in that case, play by the edge of the circle. you'll want to position yourself on the smallest part of the circle. And by that, I mean the part where the blue edge of the circle is closer to the white edge of the circle. You don't want to have to run a long distance to get into the zone. You also do not want to be the first person into the zone. You want to play by the edge, not necessarily in the blue, but close to the blue, so you can spot people that are already in the zone or that are running to the zone. If you put yourself in the center of the zone without cover, you are making yourself a target for multiple enemies that you probably won't even see. Look for enemies moving to the safe zone. Look for enemies that are prone, crawling around the edge, that think they're invisible. Look for enemies that are camping or hiding. You'll find a lot of people in the top 10 will not move. They will sit behind a rock, behind a tree. They will be snakes, and they will be laying down. They will be in bushes. They will be pretty much everywhere you can imagine. So keep your eyes open. Watch those bushes. Watch areas of shade, areas of tall grass, and always keep yourself moving. If you stop moving, you are giving someone a free headshot that has probably had you in their scope for quite some time. Always assume that an enemy knows where you are. Make mental notes of where gunshots are coming from so you have a better idea of where the enemies will be. So here's a guy in a bush right here. I had heard somebody shooting earlier, so I thought somebody was over here, and I found him standing in the bush. Don't be that guy in the bush. It is a very obvious hiding spot. It might have worked when the game first came out, but now everybody pretty much knows to check the bushes. All right, so be very careful about that. When you make mental notes of where the enemies are coming from, you'll have a better idea of where to take cover, and you'll have the jump on the enemy that does not know where you are, but you have a better idea of where he is. Always be listening for sounds and footsteps. Sometimes sound is more important than sight in this game, at least for the initial discovery of the enemy. You can hear things before they happen if you have a good headset. We already talked about that, but I'm going over it again because it is incredibly important. Sometimes the difference between life and death in this game is hearing a sound, hearing a footstep, just hearing the enemy in general, figuring out where they are before they figuring out where they are before they figure out where you are. Avoid lines of sight from windows or cover you can't see behind. So if there is a building in the middle of the safe zone, you want to try and keep your distance from that because there's most likely a guy in the window waiting for someone to take cover in a position where he can easily shoot them. So try and use trees, foliage, rocks, whatever you can to block it so that whatever building is between you and the safe zone cannot see, the person inside cannot see you. Keep moving and patrol a small area. That's very important. You don't just want to run around looking for a fight. You want to kind of pick a position next to the blue in a small part of the circle and say, this is my area. I'm going to shoot anybody that comes near this place. Don't engage people super far away that aren't a threat if it's going to give away your position. End gunfights fast and use grenades if necessary. If you get into a gunfight in the top 10, people will hear and you'll have aggressive players running toward that sound. Get the gunfight over with and change position. Only loot kills if necessary. You do not want to be looting people in the top 10 unless you absolutely have to. Assume that everybody can see you in the top 10 situation. Even if they can't, just assume that they can. And when you start looting, you're putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. Okay? Stay close to cover, trees, rocks, ditches, what have you, in case someone starts shooting at you. This is a perfect example of sound right here. I heard a guy. It sounded like he was right there to the east, so I threw a grenade. I actually caught a glimpse of him too. He's right behind that wall. My grenades went a little too far, but that's okay. They actually did some pretty good damage to him, as you'll see in a second. You can see my position here is right between the blue and the white line. He also is going to have to move, so I kind of move in with the blue. This is the last guy. I lean out and just put a couple bullets into him, and it ends him immediately because of how much damage those grenades did. You'll usually see the very last guy when the blue forces them to move from their cover, so make sure you're in a good position. I hope these tips help you guys in your quest for chicken dinners, and I'll see you guys on the battlegrounds. Hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Later, everyone.